Howdy guys, Bookie Laura here. Now, I seem to be racing through books this year. I am already packed around 6, done, dusted, and so as I've now completed another 3, it's time for me to do my 1-minute book reviews, which I'm a bit anxious about because I just seem to really struggle with them. So thank you to those guys that gave me feedback last time that I did these 1-minute book reviews. I know some people were talking about perhaps spending a little bit longer on them, but actually I think that the whole point behind it for me is that they are speedy, is that they are time pressured. So I'm going to keep on with 1 minute for now and see how I get on. So the first book which I read this month, or actually listened to, was an audiobook, which was The Kracken Wakes by Wyndham. This is basically the story that one day some lights are shooting down and they go into the ocean, and then it's a kind of monster story, I suppose. It's to do with the plan of whatever these creatures are that have settled in the ocean, their plans to try and conquer the earth. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was okay. I'm not good with audiobooks, so it took me a really long time to listen to. I'm talking like 3 months, I think. But it was okay. I think for me, I didn't enjoy the narrator, which doesn't help. I think he sounded too posh for me. And actually, I think I wanted more action. I wanted more to hear about these bad guys that were in the ocean and see, sort of, hear about them. What are they like? What are their plans? But actually, it was more just a survival tale about sort of upper middle class couple who seemed to have it quite well off. So I think that element of it didn't appeal to me. I wanted it to be more gritty, either a proper survival tale of people having to go to real lengths, or more of a monster story, because actually you didn't even see these creatures in the end, which sucks. After that, I read Everything I Never Told You by Celeste. This is the story of one day it's a family who are living somewhere that I can't remember, and one day their youngest daughter or one of their daughters, sorry, is discovered dead in a lake. She appears to have committed suicide, and it kind of then goes back in time through different family members and retells their events leading up to it. A girl in my class, actually, when I was describing this to her, said, "Oh, so it's like 13 Reasons Why." And I thought that was a really interesting connection, because it kind of is. It's like an adult's version of 13 Reasons Why. I think I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars, but I think I just found it really tragic. I enjoyed it more at the start, I think, when I was first getting to know the characters and how they'd all sort of settled together as a family. And I was really also interested by the way that it dealt with racism, because actually it's set in, I think, the 70s, or certainly elements of it are set in the 70s. And I think I forget that racism even exists, and actually it was really interesting to hear that perspective. So that was a great book. And then the final book which I've read out of these 3 is Sky Chasers by Emma Carroll. This is the story of a girl called Magpie, who is a kind of pickpocket, thief character, and she's sort of challenged through various circumstances to steal something from a family who she gets in with, and it basically transpires that they're trying to beat the English at being the first people to fly. And it's to do with, their discovery of flight through a hot air balloon. I think for me, as ever, the things that appeal with Emma Carroll are the historical details. I'm not that into history, so I learnt a great deal about this time period, and particularly this time period in France. I think that she also is really good at writing a mystery, so there were elements that you kind of wanted to discover, but that wasn't as strong as it has been in others of her books. As ever, I love when I read middle grade books, because they are still about relationships, but about friendships rather than romance, and that really appeals to me, so I thought that was really strong as well. So those were my 1-minute reviews of these books. I feel like 1 minute is almost the perfect amount of time. I could just summarise the plot, just tell you basically what I thought about it, but without going into too much detail and potentially being more boring. I think if it's a book you're interested in, then actually watching a long book review can be good. But if it's a book that I haven't heard much about, then I just want somebody to get to the point. So I'm hoping that these are achieving that. If you have any feedback, then feel free to let me know. If you've read any of those books, let me know. I'm also really interested to know if anybody's read the Celeste book and then read Little Fires Everywhere, because that's her more recent one, and I'd like to know how it compares. If I enjoyed Everything I Never Told You, will I also enjoy that? I have nothing else to say. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're reading a lot, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.